Are we expected to have a brain drain in India?
You will not able to give them jobs here, proper jobs, because India cannot provide employment to the upcoming youth. You can't give employment to everybody in the country. There will be unemployment. So they have to move because no state, no country, they cannot provide employment to all the upcoming Indians today.
Welcome to StratNewsGlobal. I'm Aishwarya, and today on the gist I have with me Dr. Irudaya Rajan. He's a migration expert. He's a scholar and a researcher in that field, and he's also the chair of the International Institute of Migration and Development. So, welcome to our studio, sir. Welcome to StratNewsGlobal.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before I start, I just want to highlight that migration is a topic that has been widely spoken about. It especially picked up during COVID. We spoke about international migration, we spoke about rural to urban, urban to rural migration. And I'm going to actually begin with international migration in this discussion because it's been in the news for quite a while since Trump has been talking about a crackdown on immigrants. Illegal immigrants, and there's also news recently there was a news that more than 1,000 Indians have been deported back to India since Trump has returned. So I want to ask you, what do you think is the current trend of international migration, and how is it affected with countries who are now aiming to crack down on illegal migrants or even change their migration policies?
No, I think we should look at the international migration in an international perspectives. You look at America, they were started sending some migrants, but the point is that India can send migrant to 180 plus countries. So we are not so much worried about one country sending few people. And also the policies, whatever we are talking about by Donald Trump or anyone, including Canada right now talking about that, even other countries. Always there are problem of international migration because everybody want to somehow regulate the international migration. I think that is good. We also regulate in our own country, regulating the foreigners here like Bangladeshis or Rohingyas. We also do that. So they are doing the same thing. So we cannot question that. But the point is that because some people are sent back, it will affect India's role in the international migration in the coming decades or coming years. I think that is very important. If you look at it today, India has a huge demographic dividend. India is probably the only country in the world can supply migrants to all countries in the world. If America is closing the door, we can open other country door. Like Europe is coming in a big way, we are signing MOUs, our Prime Minister is visiting Saudi Arabia. So there are things are coming up. So one door closing has probably will have no implications. And also I think personally that what we are talking today, international migration is only beginning. India can reach close to 40 to 60 million Indian passport holders working anywhere in the world. The Indian government currently says close to 20 million, but I think it's a vastly underestimate. I would put more numbers. If you look at it, in the future we can reach close to 60 million Indian passport holders living anywhere else. We are not talking about diasporas who are holding the American passport born in India. No, we are talking about Indian passport holders moving to any part of the world. In terms of construction, in terms of agriculture in some countries, nurses, doctors, skilled, low skill, white collar job, blue guards, even blue guards last year from Germany there are many Indians now. So I think what I personally feel is that there are migration corridors, we call them. India, United States, India, United Kingdom, India, Canada, India, Australia, these are all what we call them established migration corridors.
Right.
But there are new emerging migration corridors, like Germany picking up. So we should look at that new migration corridor. We should study on them. We should look at their skills, what they are looking for, and then we should build our skill program in our country. Because we are producing the skills, we should be matching them. It's like we have to match. We should not be mismatched between skills. Right. It's like some type of a matrimony column where you put groom and bride. It's a matching. We should look at that, what Germany needs, what we are producing.
Right.
You can match it, people will go to Germany, people will go to Austria, people will go to Poland. There is a direct flight from Delhi to Poland. That indicates there are people are going to Poland.
Right.
We have to pick up new migration corridors, forget about that old corridors, established corridors. That will come down.
So which are the new upcoming migration corridors? Are we talking about countries, you mentioned Germany, are we talking about countries like Japan, probably more Gulf countries, are we talking about African countries? Which are these new corridors?
I think new corridor includes all countries in Europe, the whole Euro area, and also we have issues in Singapore,
Okay.
Japan, and also to Africa to build up their human development.
Right.
When we are not having enough engineering colleges are being winded up in Kerala, I told them you go and open engineering colleges in Africa. So there will be a different types of migrations.
Right.
Different types of migration. Somewhere you are going to put your money on education, like you see Beach Plani in Dubai.
Right.
Beach Plani used to be here, now it's Dubai. You know, everybody is going. The educational mobility, new education policy. Why should you go to, and many private universities are coming up. You have lot of things going to happen.
Right.
Education and employment. This is the both routes people will migrate. Education and employment. Then of course the family. If you get married, have your wives or children, and then your parents, you know, these are the other way you increase the migration. But the point, very important point is, new migration corridors, we know very little about that.
Okay.
We always talk about something happening in America, but we never talk about something happening in, say, in any European country. We should also look at now Russia.
Okay.
Because there are, you know, you are the war is what? Is it distracting? So you have to reconstruct. You need labor.
Right.
You need labor. So, and then climate change. You see, lot of things are being, you have to construct, reconstruct,
Right.
like reimagining the economy.
Right.
Like we said, rebuild Kerala after Kerala floods. So like
Right.
that, I think when you look at it, there will be a lot of opening for Indians in many parts of the world. Not just nurses and doctors we are talking about. We know that Indian nurses are everywhere.
Right.
But plumbers, welders, engineers, you know, like we should look at those type of, characteristics, and also the aging care. Many countries in Europe, they are looking to look after their old parents.
Right.
In Japan, people are ready to pay. But this will come even in our own country after 15, 20 years. We are still young population, but we have still older people, but young population. That young can be utilized only next to 15 to 20 years. So this is a right time to promote migration. I will not say that, you know, we normally talk about India's migration policy is very simple. Facilitate legal, orderly and safe migration. This is the India's underwritten migration policy. Right. Safe, legal, orderly. But I think we should also add, not just to facilitate, we can also promote.
So if we are talking about promoting migration, especially of for varied skills, like you said, plumbing, I'm guessing also for other areas, are we expected to have a brain drain in India? Because I believe that, or I guess that the pay gap is much. They are better pay masters for a lot of these facilities or skills that in India that they will not get enough revenue for it.
No, I think this brain drain, or I think it's all old story. I don't think that we should worry too much about that, because you have an extra people here. You have the Ministry of Skills. You are skilling every year so many engineers, say 1.5 lakhs. You will not able to give them jobs here, proper jobs, because India cannot provide employment to the upcoming youth. You can't give employment to everybody in the country. There will be unemployment. Now, how do you release your unemployment? Within the country? You are trained in Kerala, maybe you are working in Bangalore. Right. You are trained in Uttar Pradesh, you may be working in Jaipur. You know, the cities, that's the magnet of migration. So they have to move, because no state, no country, they cannot provide employment to all the upcoming Indians today. So you have to diversify. Now, so this brain drain is not important. What we have to do is that we have to create policies and program to bring back them after making some money there. Now, we are not doing that. If you go there, we forget about them. No, go there. If you are going to study in America, please go. India should encourage them. Go to America, go to UK, go to Canada. Right. Return. So returning off, that's what we call them brain gain.
Brain.
We don't talk about brain gain and also brain circulation. You can work for 3 months in one university in India, you can work in remaining time in America. So brain gain, and we should talk about brain circulation. But what is happening sometime during the international migration, many of our skilled people are being de-skilled in many countries. I call them brain waste.
Okay.
Brain waste is important because what you studied in India after doing engineering and management, you are doing a old age care work, or you are doing some jobs which may bring you money.
Correct.
But you are not
Utilizing
working.
your skills.
Yeah, that is, I call them brain waste. So we should look at it. If our Indians are being de-skilled, and India having a big skill ministry, and our Prime Minister want to make India as a skill capital in the world.
Correct.
When you are making India as a skill capital, our skills has to be properly utilized in the countries of destination. There comes your mobility agreements. There comes the coordination between the Indian
But in
government.
spite of these labor mobility agreements, we are seeing de-skilling. So where is the lapse in it?
De-skilling is happening partly because these people are given dreams by the agents. I think that is where we have to talk about the migration governance.
Okay.
Migration governance is very important because if you go to Punjab, the agents are selling dreams to young boys and girls. They are sent to fraud universities in many countries, you know that. So they are going like that because they are telling them if you get a student visa to Canada, you will become PR.
Right.
So this dream selling should be regulated.
Right.
I think that is where we have to do governance. That means we have to counsel the younger people in India not to be prey to the things, and also inform the parents about where your child is going. Not just suppose that somebody is going. No, you have to look at that. That is very important. Then you can reduce the brain waste.
Right. And what about migration trends within India? Are we facing a labor shortage within India? Is there an imbalance in how labor is circulated within India?
No, when you look at this demographic dividend in India, India has a huge demographic dividend, but not many states.
Okay.
That has to be spelled out very properly. That's why even you are skilling people in Kerala, you may not need them, all of them. If you are skilling people in Uttar Pradesh, you may not need all of them. So people will move. And southern states are having what is called the labor less, or what you call them, labor scarcity. So we need people. Kerala need people from other states. So you should not worry about only international migration. You know, we should talk about internal migration. Because we talk about smart cities. India is promoting smart cities.
Right.
And the economists believe urbanization will lead to economic growth.
Right.
Urbanization cities mean migration. Because today you take any city in India, 40 to 50% will be migrant from other places, other languages. So we have to govern those things. So what we have to do, we should not, because there is also a problem within the country, you know, like a language or religion, we talk about that. But what we should talk about very clearly is that we should not treat migrants as competitors. What is happening today, migrants comes, you tell them, they have come to take my jobs. That has to go. We have to talk about migrants as a partners in development.
Right.
Not competitors. Once you do that, the change comes in with the politician, it will be very interesting.
What are the challenges of migration governance? You were mentioning migration governance. You said we need to train even the parents, even the students who are going. So what are the challenges in migration governance? Do we have the right kind of data? Do we know what kind of jobs our migrants are getting? And if they are getting it at the pay scale that is probably mentioned in these labor mobility agreements. So what are the challenges in international migration and even in internal migration within India?
I think there are two different things. One is about migration data,
Okay.
which is completely missing. We have no idea of how many people are living in different countries. Outside the country, you have some numbers, but the numbers are not.
Does the MEA not have a number based on their own policies?
No, they may not have, no, because the visa is issued by how many people going to America is visa is issued by the American embassy, not the Indian embassy. They will not know unless you work with them.
Okay.
How many students are in America? Who knows? Only the American embassy know. We given a visa last year 35,000, this year 48,000. They can give you data. Indian embassy will not have the data. No, Indian embassy will know how many people are coming to India for tourism. How many people are coming for. So there is a data issues has to be sorted out. We don't know how many people are moving from our country to different part of the world for education, for employment, for tourism, whatever you talk about. I think we need a maintenance of the good data on international migration will greatly help for the migration management. Migration management, if you want to manage migration, you need evidence. I call them evidence-based policy. So if the evidences are very weak, both for international migration and also internal migration. We had 2011, we had census. 21 it did not happen. Now we are talking about 2027. 27. Okay, but that means 27 data will come out 28, 29. But you see that 20 years, many things happened. Correct. For example, COVID. COVID has completely derailed the migration for some time. Correct. But of course, we don't know now what's happening. So I think the internal migration also we should have some type of mid-year surveys. That's why I always say census is a very costly affair. We should talk about large-scale surveys on migration, both internal and international migration. For example, we started doing a migration survey in Kerala in 1998. Right. And we are running every 5-year survey done in Kerala on international migration. We are able to tell them Keralites living anywhere in the world is 2.1 million. We are telling them. And we told them last year 200,000 crores came. 2.5 lakh students have left Kerala. 50,000 crores were paid as a student fees. Now, these type of database we have to create. Right. Then only every state will talk about policy. If Punjab had a regular migration policy, they would have noted the undocumented migration going from Punjab. Right. If they were doing a survey every 5 years, they know what's happening. This area, suddenly there is a booming of agents. They would have known that. Because now it is too late. Right. Now they are trying to stop. But it's already the knowledge of the illegal migration or undocumented is already spread among the people. Correct. You reach there, you can manage. Right. You reach there, you can manage. No, these are the way. And they are ready to put 30 lakhs, 1 crore. They are not poor migrants, am I right? They are all aspirational migrants. And we should also look at it because India is emerging as the biggest economy in the world very soon. That means why we are not able to keep our migrants? Why people are leaving?
What is the reason for this migration that is happening? If they have money, if they have opportunities, why is there a need for migration?
I think that is where you should talk to the parents. This is the aspiration. Today, you meet any MPs or MLAs in any assembly or the parliament. You ask them, where are your children?
They are not in India.
They are not in India. My son is there, my daughter is there, my son-in-law is there. So we are over-projecting ourselves. We should say my son is in Bangalore or my son is at home. We are doing a business. So everybody, and then this became what is called the demonstration effect. Oh, my neighbor went to Gulf. They bought a house. Right. Then, you see, these type of things are happening there. So it's like what we call them some type of over-projecting without knowing what is happening there. We don't know because many of the people who are going to America who came back, they were all misinformed. Right. There is a misinformation also happening in the migration because you are not given full information. You are given part information. Like, you see, like you are given a, what is called there is a trailer for a movie, 2 minutes. By seeing that, you go and see a movie. Oh my God. So the trailer is not told everything about the movie. Am I right?
Correct.
So the trailer, similarly what we are doing, the agents are convincing them. Not only they are convincing them, there are many universities in the other countries like UK, Canada, they are coming in here to take the students, the best students. That means these people are funding the education in UK and US. The salaries for the many universities in other countries are paid by Indian students and Chinese students.
Correct.
So we have to tell them, you see, you have one side, I think this is something a very important thing. The second thing is, this is some type of, what is called some type of, in our mind, America is good, UK is good. I think this is something, that's why you see even in the, Hindi movies, why there is a song, the hero and heroine is singing in America. What is the reason?
Right. Because
that is not going to happen, am I right? So some type of over-projecting the migration. I think we have to report exactly what is happening to Indian students. Indian students were not able to get meals during COVID-19 in many countries. We have to report back them every week.
So you're saying there should be an international outreach program?
That's right. Very big way. It should start in the colleges. But I would say you should start at the 12th standard. That's where young people are started thinking. Every school, there's a, you have every school, you have a psychologist, you should have a migration person, give them a class. What is migration? Do you have a passport? About the country. You are talking about, old history. You should talk about history of America. You see, we should do our education system, syllabus has to change. We should not talk about history of some the 30th century. Who wants that? We should talk about Gulf history. We should talk about, because our people are going there. They should know. Right. So I think the information is not there. In fact, I would talk about, look at Philippines. They have a pre-departure training program. Pre-departure, there should be some type of, you are going to America.
So what is there in this pre-departure training?
Pre-departure, they will tell, where are you going? Do you know about the country? Do you know about even the currency? You are in trouble, whom do you meet? Right. What is the purpose you are going? You are going for a student. You have to come back. See, you have to give them, because you are given false information. Right. It can be 30 minutes before the flight. Suppose you see that today, 2 o'clock, there's a flight going. You know that in that flight, 40 students are going to Canada. There's a flight from Delhi to Toronto. Students, before the 1 hour, you can have some meeting with them. Look, you are going there. We don't want you to come like this.
But tell them. Is it practically possible to do this for every flight that goes to Canada?
No. I'm telling how many flights goes to Canada? Only 5-6 flights, direct flights. But the point is that once you start, then it will spread. Then it will start from the villages. It will be in the panchayat. It will be in the temple. It will be in the church. It will be in the mosque. So you have to start. Somebody has to start somewhere, because now all migrants happening without any information. And people told you can go and make money. And many people, even in the Gulf, they are not, salary is not paid. Here they will say you go there, you will get 45,000 rupees. When you go there, they give you 25,000 rupees. Correct. He may think that I would have earned in Delhi. Yeah. So people are there's a lot of cheating in migration. That should be documented. Cheating, wage theft during COVID-19. Right. Wage theft was huge. Even for Kerala migrants. Imagine from Rajasthan, UP. Because Kerala is already developed as a state with international migration last 40 years. Now tomorrow, migrants started going from Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Bihar. They will be cheated left and right, because they are 30 years lacking behind what was Kerala. You see, so I think we have to give them education, counseling, parents, because now you have less number of children. So you should talk about aspirations. You are aspiring, but you should not end up in somewhere. Right. Aspiring is good.
So is there a way that, other than these pre-training programs, pre-departure training programs, any steps that the government of India can take to ensure that our migrants, whoever is going for whichever sector of work, they are being treated fairly, they are getting the right wages? Is there anything else other than the mobility agreements?
Yeah. So, we can't expect government to do everything. I think this is something we are always talking about. Today you look at private hospitals. Look at private universities, private colleges. You talk everything private, buses, everything private. Only for the migration, we should put ourselves. There are agents. Most of the agents are private. Am I right? So even the agent should be given what is called the ethical recruitment. Ethical recruitment, how many people know about ethical recruitment? Because I am going to work in America or I am going to work in Gulf, why should I pay? I should not need to pay, but people are paying. Am I right? 1,85,000. Am I right? So I think this is where the basic thing we have to inform them. So it is not just the government. Government can put some policies. Right. They are telling no recruitment agent should collect more than 20,000 rupees. They have written in their law. But if you go and check anyone, maybe 5% of the people may be going. All other people are going, not the double, triple. 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh. In fact, some of them paying 1 year of their salary in Dubai by paying the initial amount to the agent. So it's like a big mafia. It's like a labor mafia. We talk about land mafia. Right. It's a big mafia is there. Big money is involved. There is a big money. So I think we have to look at it. Government can make some policies, but it is our responsibility as parents, as a community leaders, as political parties. Right. Everybody has to play a role, because when I am holding the same passport as an Indian passport, the fellow who came to India from America, he was also holding the same passport like me, Indian passport.
Right.
Am I right? So it is important for me to see to it, nobody goes like that because he is holding India passport.
Correct.
He is not holding Punjabi passport. Am I right? There is no Punjabi passport. Indian passport or Gujarati passport or a Telugu passport. India passport. So he is holding. So it is a status of my India.
Right.
My India. I think that should come in. Once you decide that my India, I am holding Indian passport, which our Prime Minister hold, which our President of India hold, I am holding the same passport. So that my passport should not be treated like this.
Correct.
Indian passports. We are talking about Indian passport. I think this is where government should do their own work. Migration policy, migration governance, recruiting agents, pre-departure program, they are all doing that. Little bit, but they cannot do so much. Am I right? So everybody has to take a responsibility.
Right.
Punjab government should do more. They should not wait only for the government of India.
So saying there has to be state government.
Yes, state
involvement
government
also.
should play a major role like Kerala is playing. State government should play a major role, and I would put religious leaders should play a major role. Religious leaders. Why there are some people are going? We have to play the role.
Correct.
I think we should play. Earlier they were talking about some community used to kill girls. Then Beti Bachao, you might heard about the program. So if you know there are areas this is happening, we should go there in a big way.
Correct.
I think this is what important for reducing the future undocumented migration.
Right. And where does something like climate change or natural disasters fit into migration? Because that calls for unprecedented migration in those cases. So where does that fit into this whole scope of migration? I'm assuming that if there is migration due to a natural disaster, there is not that much time or scope for knowing the difference between skilling and de-skilling. They may not have the opportunity. So where does climate change and migration fit into this?
I think climate change is a new animal in the room right now. We know very little about climate change. We know that there are floods like Kerala had 2018. They said 100 years back it came, and there are landslides and there are tsunami. We are talking about that, land rise, all the things we are talking about that. But automatically they will be replaced. They will be replaced from that locality. They will be moving and they will not be able to do the job. I think that there will be what we call them forced migration. So even we talk about climate refugees. We never talk about climate refugees. Now people are talking about, we talk about war refugees. We talk about Rohingyas, refugees. We call them refugees. Maybe your own country, you will be a climate refugee. Because something happening in Odisha, something happening in West Bengal, something happening in Kerala. Because when there is a flood, you have to move.
Right.
Or there is a sea rise. So I think climate change impact on internal migration will be very huge, which we don't know right now. Because it's like natural calamities, even heat waves.
Yeah.
Very hot season, very cold. Now that all the climate is complete, it's like nature is behaving like us. We behave very badly. Now nature also behave very badly. Like we are showing our faces, angry. So it also gets angry. It also, I think the nature is going to have a very much impact on human life, and migration is going to be accelerated. That's why I said, I said, internal migration will accelerate.
So what are the policies? Are there any policies we can have to work around this internal migration that may happen, that may accelerate due to climate change or natural disasters?
No, I think the major point for debate is that we have to recognize migration will accelerate. Is the government, is the politician, is the policy maker talking about that? You have to recognize, I have a problem, I have to see a doctor. We have to recognize within the country, migration will accelerate. Outside the country, migration will accelerate. Once you should recognize that acceleration, once you understand, then only you will talk about putting policies in place on skilling, putting policies in place. Your Indian embassies in other countries should be more active. Indian embassies in other countries should be more active. It should be more, you should have more staffs there. Some of the embassies are understaffed. So you should have more staffs to manage them. So I think, recognizing
is the first
the
step.
Future, acceleration of migration, because migration is important because of the fertility mortality which I told. Whole world, fertility is almost constant.
Correct.
Whole world, people are living longer. So we have controlled fertility, we have controlled mortality. Controlled fertility to the lower level.
Correct.
Controlled mortality so that people live longer. Now what we can control now? We can control only migration. That's why every government, every political manifesto talking about migration. Every political manifesto will talk. Even after some time, there may be a talk even within our own country.
Right.
They may talk about migration. Maharashtra is for Maharashtrian, Kannadiga for Kannada.
Correct.
We don't know, it may come.
It may soon come
Yeah,
given
yeah.
the roles that
Yeah, because this is very important. That is where we said recognizing the problem, then projecting the migrants as a right way. Today we are projecting migrants in a bad sight. In many of the movies, many of the medias, media also we should give counseling to media. Media project migrants as a very bad way. There is some theft, they will say migrant from Bengal did this. Like nobody from the state is doing that.
right.
Everybody does theft or everybody does something wrong, but you will add one sentence, Bengali migrant, migrant from Haryana killed. We all do that. I think this is, you have to be disciplined. Media has to be disciplined because media has to talk about role of migration in the development. So the migrants' role, the contribution to the society is important because you cannot project every migrant as a bad man.
Correct.
Sorry. So migrants, we should not talk about migrants as competitors. We should call them as partner. Migrants will be bad. There may be migrant. There will be terrorism. Everybody will be there. Like I was telling in many of the programs, there were 12 disciples with Christ. One betrayed him. Similarly, there will be a migrant with bad character. But you cannot brand everyone as betrayer. No. That is where you have to understand the migration trends, policies, determinants, why people move. I think once you know that, then I think we will have a very interesting migration policy in our country because 21st century is belong to migrants and migration.
I think that's a very good note to sum up this conversation. So thank you for watching The Gist with us. I'm Aishwarya, and keep watching StratNewsGlobal.